To the Perils and Paradise Hearthstone expansion card review for the Demonhunter cards. We're going to be looking at how they do in Demonhunter, how they would slot in, and as well how they would do in Shaman. Of course, every card from the new expansion can be used in a different class as well. And this one is in Shaman, and I think the Demonhunter Taurus is very relevant, though, so that's why I put him on board. This card has to be in your deck to allow you to play Demonhunter cards, and it's a 3-mana 2/2 Murloc Pirate. And it says, after friendly minion dies, summon a random minion that costs 1 more. So this is the card that lets you play those in your deck. And yeah, so the first card we have here is Sigil of Skydiving. Sigil of Skydiving is a 2-mana fell spell. At the start of your turn, next turn, summon 3 1/1 pirates with charge. Which is pretty funny because you play this on turn 2, and then you get 3 1/1 pirates with charge, and then you play the cookie and you trade them in, and you get 3 random 2-drops. That is a lot of board. Yeah, you get at least 1 Doomsayer, but then at least you're head on board into turn 4, smiley face. I think the card's pretty good. I think 3 1/1s with charge is pretty decent, generally speaking. And yeah. Alright. Then next up, we have 2-mana 2/2 Adrenaline Fiend. After friendly pirate attacks, give you a hero +1 attack this turn. I look at this card, and obviously it's nice. It's like 3 attack with the other cards. If you have a bunch of random pirates attacking, if you have even more pirates attacking, it's like really great. But I don't think Demonhunter has that many pirates yet. And like maybe this card would be better if it had Rush itself. Obviously, because you could do some trading with it. But that, like, I know you can also double stack this, but I think the Naga, for example, that gives you 3 attack, the 2-mana 3/2, if you've used this spell before, it's just better. It's like not as conditional, so I don't think this card will ever see play. Neither will this card see play in Shaman. But this card, I think, could see play both in Demonhunter as well as in Shaman together with a cookie. Then we have 7-mana 5/8 Demon. Whenever this attacks, give your hero +5 attack this turn. I don't know if there's a good way of making my demons like charge or rush right away. I mean, there obviously is the 0-mana spell that gives friendly minion rush. That is a like dual class card between Demonhunter and Warrior. So you could use this, and this is quite a large pile of stats. But I feel like this is not really what Hearthstone demands from Demonhunter these days. Like, it's just a big body. It doesn't really work all too well with it. But it's another demon. This is a demon, and this is a demon, and Patches is a demon. There's a lot of demons, and they are going to make your discovery pool for Magteridon much worse. So I could actually see them revert the weapon. Was this 4-mana? This now 4-mana, previously 3-mana weapon, which was a 3/2 weapon that drew a demon from your deck and reduced the cost by 2. And then you'd get a 5-mana 6/5 that would be then reduced by 2. That lets you. This has miniaturized and lets you also discover a demon with the same cost and stats. But yeah. So it's making this pool a lot worse, and I could probably see them revert the weapon to give Demonhunter a little bit back. Like, the shopper is getting much worse, and a lot of the power from the deck came from being able to discover cheap Magteridons, and the chances. I mean, you can still discover them, just high roll, but just high rolling is on average not going to be good enough. Alright, so we're skipping this card. Then we have 3-mana Shadow Spell, Skirting Death. Choose a minion. This turn, your hero steals 4 attack from us. This card is interesting for multiple reasons. If you think back to what we've previously seen, this has some really, really sick synergy with the Shaman Legendary that got revealed. And I'm going to hop back to it for just a second, just to show you what this card did. Shaman. Alright, so here's the Legendary. While in your hand, play 2 different spell schools to transform. And Shadow Spell School destroys 2 random enemy minions. Alright, it had a lot of effect. Arcane, draw 2, Fire, deal 6, Frost, freeze 3, Nature, +2/+2, and Taunt, Holy, restore 6 health to your hero. But the really crazy ones are Shadow, destroy 2 random, destroy 2 random enemy minions, and Fel, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions, right? And those are not spell schools that Shaman usually has like an easy time accessing. But since they have the Demonhunter Tourist, you can put them in your deck that way. This is why I think this is really interesting, and this is why I wanted to throw back to it. We'll head back to the Demonhunter cards, but this is one of the reasons why I think this card is a little bit more interesting than you might think at first glance. Choose a minion. This turn, your hero steals 4 attack from it. I think generally this is like okay. It's a little bit expensive. There's like other cheap ways for Demonhunter to gain additional attack. I think Burning Heart is a much better card. This is a little bit more flexible. The minion gets the attack back. So I don't really think this is all that great. But I could totally see this being in my Shaman deck just so that I have access to a Shadow spell and can make use of this like super OP like spell school for the minion, as well as they have some cards which just like get better with multiple spell schools being played. So I think this card isn't great, but I think Shaman might run it anyway just for the synergy it has with spell schools. I don't think this is super great in Demonhunter because they have better attack buffs, so I don't really want to play it. Alright, then we have 3 mana, no spell school, spell Paraglide. It's both players draw 3 cards, outcast only you do. This card's pretty interesting because, I mean, obviously it has this like crazy overdraw potential. Then, oh, one more thing about this card is that Shaman has easy access to like, much easier access to Wind Fury that Demonhunter does not. So health, like this feels more like a Shaman, a good Shaman card, even though they might not go for the Wind Fury, unless you want to like do some crazy stuff with, even with Ignis you wouldn't play this because you still have better like attack buffs. Anyway, we're going to Paraglide. This is an interesting card because it has like the threat of overdrawing your opponent. In Outcast, it can just draw a lot. It's another way for you to draw some cards in Demonhunter. Like sometimes you wanted to play Studies and discover card draw, and then Spectral Sight was like the best you can get, but this can be pretty good too. I don't really feel like this is a card that I would run in any of my Demonhunter decks. I'd probably rather play the Sigil because outcasting things is not super easy, and that most of the time where I want to do this, I'd rather wait a turn. So I don't think I would terribly want to run this. I don't think I really want to run this in Shaman either. Yeah, I don't think this is like something I really want to run in Shaman. It's a lot of card draw, like absolutely, especially if you can outcast it. But I feel like the value heavy decks, they like to play just like put a bunch of heavy cards in their deck and they don't run this. But I could like this is like a maybe card, just pretty meta dependent, but I think it's unlikely I would just run this by itself. Alright, then we have 4 mana Dangerous Cliffside. It's a 4 mana location with 3 charges, summon 2 1/1 pirates with charge. After your hero attacks, reopen this. So for Demonhunter, this is pretty easy to reopen. For Shaman, a lot less, but it gives you 1/1 pirates with charge, and those are the pirates with charge. Obviously, that works a little bit with the weapon that they have, and a lot of the new locations are pretty cool because they're so easy to reactivate, and then you get a lot of value out of them. But I'm not even 100% sure. The problem is I can't activate this twice in one turn as a Demonhunter, so I'm gonna have to at least, I guess I can use it, hero power, use it again, and I get 4 chargers on the first turn. I mean, that's pretty good. That is still actually pretty decent. If you think about, there was this card that dealt 4 damage to a target and then spawned 4 1/1s. And I think like this can be similar, because if you charge face with it twice, you get to a very similar effect. Obviously, you have trouble dealing with minions. So I could see this being played. It's just some pretty good effects that you have over time. There's a lot of charge cards being printed in Demonhunter. I don't see this being a shaman card, like, at all. It has some really nice synergy with a cookie again. And I guess shaman does have weapons, right? Shamans has a lot of weapons. So this could actually just be fine in shaman as well. But I think this is more... Like, I don't see it do all that much unless you really want tokens. And I'm kind of failing to see how either of them really want tokens right now, other than for the cookie. But then again, I said this card was quite nice, right? The sigil was nice. It's like, you get 3 chargers. And here you pay double the mana and you get double the stuff. In principle, but it's like, it comes a little later in the game, so cards have to be more powerful. I think that the sigil is probably better than this. Alright, then we have 6 mana Cliff Dive. Summon 2 minions from your deck and give them rush. They go back at the end of your turn. I'm guessing they only go back if they don't die. Alright, I mean, at first glance, this card really looks terrible. Like, I have no idea what this is even supposed to do. It's, like... Why would I play this in my deck? You summon 2 minions, you give them rush, they can trade some stuff. I mean, it's a pretty good meme in Shaman, right? Sometimes you play this with, like, Walking Mountain, and you get a 4 mana, like a 9 mana 4/12 with Mega Wind Fury. And then it goes back in your deck so you can play this again. Obviously kind of works with Yogg as well, like big titans. I guess this kind of works with like the 8/8 that can go phase, like Green Rag works as well. This works on like a big deck, but I'm having trouble seeing it, but I don't want to write it off completely, because 2 big minions that have really powerful effects for 6 mana that kind of die at the end of your turn. You can't resurrect them, but you can decide where they go. I think that's not something we should write off completely. Like, yes, big Demonhunter is like kind of a thing of the past. And the advantage of having big Demonhunter was that you could also run like smaller minions that weren't that weren't demons, right? But here you can't like run any small minions, which is a little bit problematic. But I mean, I think it's interesting. I don't see it play like at first glance, but I'm interesting to see what else comes in this expansion. Especially Demonhunter has like a tourist that gives you like priest cards, so that could be pretty interesting. Yeah, you can like, obviously all the titans are really good with this. Yogg is good, every class titan is good with this, Green Rag is good with this. Like, there's plenty of minions that are really, really good with this. The question is like, does it make a deck? And the answer, my opinion is that the answer is probably no. You probably just like, you bleed too much for this effect and the effect doesn't win you the game outright. Like, if you have something that's that powerful in restricting your deck, it also needs to be that powerful when coming down. Alright, then you have 6 mana weapon. It's a 5 attack and 2 durability weapon. Doesn't lose durability while you control a minion with 5 or more attack. I mean, it's a lot of damage. If you have big minions. Very, very big damage. But I think I like to compare this a little bit to there's this weapon that that DK got, Death Knight, that is 5 attack, 1 durability, and every time you attack you can spend 3 corpses to make it like gain a durability, so it like doesn't die, right? And that card isn't really played. It costs a mana less. I mean, obviously this isn't a class where you want to go face a little bit more, but yeah. Somehow I don't really see this card being played. Then we had a look at Patches earlier when it got released, like quite a while ago. And Patches is a 1 mana 1/1 demon pirate. Again, a shopper nerf kind of. Battlecry shuffle 6 parachutes in your deck that summon a 1/1 pirate with charge. I mean, this card has to be insane. I don't really see how it's not insane. And like, it's kind of funny. It's a 1-mana 1/1 that just doesn't do anything for a while. And you have to like reap the rewards later. Unless you're just really good and just top deck one. But with 6 parachutes, basically you have a 25% chance every turn to draw one of these. Right? Because you have about 24 cards on like turn 2 in your deck. So this is, I think this is a really good card. I probably even played this in my Shaman as well. It's also really good with Cookie. I don't see any of these 2 cards being played in Shaman either. And then, of course, the Tourist can't be played in Shaman, so... but it's another interesting card. It's a 5-mana 5/6 Priest Tourist. Damage your hero takes on your turn is redirected to a random enemy. So I can play this, and I can Hero Power, and I can face like a 10/10, and then I don't take any damage, but some random dude takes 10. It's also from priest spells, for example. Like, priest spells will be coming up if you take any damage from any of those. That would work, of course. I mean, my idea on the tourist is basically you always play all of them, because most of the decks you're going to play, you usually want one card out of the deck. So the tourist itself doesn't have to be insane for this kind of card to stay, like... for this to, like, be playable. But, I mean, we haven't seen, like, super duper big minions being in the game where you could, like, mega damage your opponent. Especially if you're Demonhunter, you want to be ahead, right? This is, like, not necessarily what you want to do. So... I think this card by itself, if it didn't say Priest Taurus, would have some trouble finding play in Demonhunter. Because I just don't feel like that's what you want to do for 5 mana. But... like, the ability to get, like, other stuff in your deck's pretty interesting. I'm not going to rate the Taurus yet, because we haven't seen the Priest cards. But, Patches, I'm going to give a 3. The Climbing Hope, I'm going to give a 1. The Cliff Dive, I'm going to give a 2. The Dangerous Cliff Dive, creative, I'll give a 3. Paraglide, I'll give a 2. Skirking Death, I give a 1 for Demonhunter and a 3 for Shaman. All-Terrain Voidhound is a 1. Adrenaline Fiend is a 1. And I think Sigil of Skydiving is a 3. Alright, and then that is my review of the Demonhunter cards. So thanks for making this far, and always remember that you're valuable and you matter. I appreciate you sticking around.